Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Frida Tate with a brand new video. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that each time I upload a brand new video, you are notified. In today's video, we are talking about a viral video that I saw on TikTok about this woman that told a story of how God restored her marriage after infidelity. I'm pretty sure you guys are interested in seeing this story. So what I'm gonna do is I have put together a series of videos that she made. I think she made a part 1 and a part 2. I am going to play it, and at the end I'm gonna come back with my own commentary. If after seeing this video and you have any thoughts, anything that you think about this video, please let me know in the comment section, because I am so interested in knowing what you think. Did God really restore her marriage, or something else happened? So let's go and see this video.
So 2018, when my husband and I first separated, once we got back together, I ended up getting pregnant. Honestly, it wasn't really the best time because we were trying to work on our marriage, rekindle our intimacy, and now we have to also worry about having another baby. So we tried to make it work and just focus on ourselves. But honestly, me being pregnant and my husband was trying to work through things and his own feelings. And he kind of got to a place where he was like, look, it's too little too late. And he let me know, like, look, I just can't do this anymore. First sonogram that I got, I sent it to my husband and he didn't even respond. Like, that's how clocked out he was.
According to this story, he got out of the relationship. They tried to work things out and they were separated. So it looks like 2 times she accepted this guy into their house. And so she's talking about the first time that she actually got out. Now, let's go on and continue watching this video.
With his mom is kind of telling me things. I'm believing that God is going to restore us, that he's going to change things around. And it was hard because I'm pregnant, I'm hormonal, and I love his mom. But there were even moments where talking to his mom was kind of detrimental for me because she would tell me things like, oh, they're having fun and they really like each other. So in my mind, I'm thinking he's in love with her and this is it. Like, our marriage is over. And I want to also say that throughout this time, even though I wasn't talking to my husband, the Holy Spirit would tell about our relationship. And it wasn't until I want to say like a month or 2, maybe 3 months later, that I found out that he was talking to someone at his job and they were in a relationship. So the whole duration of my pregnancy, he is with that woman and we have not communicated at all. No calls, no texts. He doesn't know anything about the baby. I don't know what's going on outside of like when I have me, because she would tell me things like, oh, they're having fun and they really like each other. So in my mind, I'm thinking he's in love with her and this is it. Like, our marriage is over. And I want to also say that throughout this time,
Hold up. You said you could have dreams and the Lord was talking to you. Oh my goodness. This is giving someone who was really thinking about the man. That's the reason why she was having dreams. Like, I don't think those dreams were from God, because God is not giving dreams like right now. God is not giving dreams to people. But anyways, let's keep watching the video.
My husband. So I didn't really take a lot of these videos too seriously, but this night, one of the videos, they were talking about like God was going to do something in 3 days. For some reason, it stuck with me and I took mental note, okay, 3 days, something is going to happen. So the 3rd day comes and I'm eating my bowl of cereal at night like I normally did. It was like 11 o'clock and I'm getting ready to get in a bed and I lift my leg up to get into the bed and I felt like this sharp pain, like, in my abdomen area. I get up and I walk to the bathroom. I tell my husband, you win, we can get a divorce. He's upset. I don't understand why. And a couple of days later, he reaches out to me and says, hey, I want to come get our oldest son to bring him with me to my mom's house to spend time with my family. And I was like, okay, great. And yes, I was kind of worried that he would be around that other woman because I didn't want my son to be around her. I didn't really know her like that, but I put my trust in God and I believe that, look, if anything is going to happen that is not going to benefit my son, I know that you would stop it and you're not going to allow it. So I'm going to just trust you. So later that evening, I'm watching a video again on YouTube, this woman that I trust, and she's talking about what it's like when you are married and separated and what you're supposed to be like when your husband comes back. Basically being like the prodigal son's father and just having open arms. She was saying that we need to be compassionate and showing mercy and being gracious, and I knew all of that, but as I'm listening to it, I hear the Holy Spirit tell me, when he comes back, give him a hug. I'm terrified, y'all. I'm terrified because, again, we're not on that type of time. We have not physically touched each other since he was in the hospital with me, holding me for the epidural. But again, I was very obedient to the Lord. Whatever the Lord needed me to do, I was going to do it. No shame, no pride. So my husband gets here and he walks in the door, puts my son's stuff in, bring my son upstairs, and he's still downstairs waiting. So I walk back down the steps and he's getting ready to leave, and I just hug him. I just wrap my arms around him and I hold him, and he's just holding on tight. He doesn't even let go. And as I'm holding him, I can feel that he needed it. I just knew that he needed it. And he says to me, well, what is this for? And I was like, oh, nothing. Like, I just feel like you needed it. I just feel like you needed a hug. He's like, okay, well, thanks. Upstairs, I call his mom. Like, he just came over. I gave him a hug. Like, he didn't fight it. Like, I feel like he needed it. And she was like, tell him to come back. And I'm like, okay, like, why not? Now, my mother-in-law lives 30 minutes away, and that's where my husband was living at the time. So he had to drive 30 minutes from my house to get to his mom's. So I hurry up and I text him. I'm like, hey, can you come back? Like, can you stay here? And he's like, I'm already home. So I'm thinking the conversation is going to end, but he continues to text me and tells me that he's had dreams about me and he's just been feeling all these things. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, what are the dreams? Like, how do you feel about it? And he's just kind of speaking really like in a cryptic way. But again, I'm not trying to push boundaries. I really just want him to lead. And as he's sharing these dreams with me and what he feels and what he thinks it means, he ends up telling me, like, look, I want my family back. I want to be back with you guys. I need my family. And it almost felt like it was too good to be true, because I go through this situation at the hospital. I'm thinking God done it already just for him to leave the hospital, and he's still talking to this woman. And now here he is saying he wants his family. So he tells me that he's going to come over tomorrow. The next day comes and I'm waiting for him hours long, and I don't know where he's at. I'm texting him. He's not responding. So he finally gets to my mom's house, and he admits that he had been over at the other woman's house because he felt like he needed to give her closure, because he had ended their relationship abruptly and he knew that she was feeling some type of way. Now, in my mind, I'm like, she don't need no closure. I'm your wife. But I also understood that they had been together for almost 9 months. And so there was still something there. And after that, we laid in that bed. I laid on his chest, and he just told me how much he missed us and how much he loves me. And he kind of just poured his heart out to me. And I started to tell him all the different things that God told me, all the things God shared with me about us and being restored, and how God had even used my son one time. And he's just laying there, and I don't know what he was thinking. I should ask him one day, but he was kind of laying there like, okay, whatever. But I could tell he was at peace just being with his family. Now I was in a place where I realized we were restored, and I think that I was moving a little too fast, because I was like, let's go on dates, let's go to the movies, and he wasn't ready. And so he ended up telling me one time, like, Zay, this is too soon for this. Like, I can't just pretend like I'm still not feeling some type of way about you. I can't pretend that I'm not like grieving this other woman. Like, I just need some time. So a week goes by where we do not talk at all. And at the end of that week, he sends me a message and says, I think we should be friends. And y'all, I almost lost it. I'm like, ain't no way I'm going to be right back in this place where this man just wants to be friends. So I texted him. I said, you only want to be friends? He was like, no, dummy. I want us to rebuild our friendship. I want us to start being friends again. And y'all, we've been together ever since. And no, it hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of warfare, a lot of forgiveness. There's been a lot that has gone into both he and I growing and being where we are right now. And it even was at the point where he was explaining to me, what that relationship was like for him and what they went through and how much they argued and how much they fought. And it was just very, very toxic. And so I pray that y'all hearing this, I know it's crazy, but just understanding how good God is and how faithful God is, because 6 years now, I'm not worried about that woman. I trust him. I don't think about her like I used to. It doesn't bother me anymore, because I know where God has brought us from and where we are at now. So God bless y'all. Those of you that are still standing for your marriages, I'm praying that you just keep the faith and you keep trusting in God, because he can do it.
God has given us a choice. He has given us a free will. Therefore, whatever actions that we decide to take is because we want to take it. You can take one or the other. And we have seen some women that are like, okay, no, I am not going to do that. I am not going to come back. I'm not going to let you in because you left me. And that's a choice that they have made. What I'm going to do is, again, I have put together the response, the reaction of people to this video, and I will play it so that you see what other women are saying about it.
God gotta be tired of y'all giving him credit on stuff that he ain't got nothing to do with. He gave y'all free will. That's where it stopped. That's where it ended. You have the free will to do whatever you want with your life. Therefore, no matter whether or not the decisions you making are positive or negative, that's on you. You made that decision. You taking a man back who abandoned you while you was pregnant and ran off with another woman and talking about God restored your marriage? No. You were desperate and pathetic and you stayed in a marriage that you shouldn't have. Don't put that on him. It ain't no different when girls be going out here and having unprotected sex with men who don't like them, don't want them, and don't want no baby with them. And then when they get pregnant and they keep it, they'll be somewhere talking about that was God's plan. You know, that's a blessing from God. No, that is a decision that you made. You had a decision at every point. You had a decision to make that man wear a condom. You could have been on contraceptives. You didn't have to keep the child. There was a lot of different choices along the way, and you made your final decision, and you ended up with a child. That's it. That's all. Don't try to put that on the Lord.
I'm really just trying to figure out what was the reason of telling us a story about how God restored your marriage when you were just a big dummy the entire time. Anyway, so you guys were separated. Marriage wasn't going very well. That happens. That's normal, right? That's normal. He's living with his mom, living with your mom. God told you to pack a bag and put it next to the door. So you did that. And every morning you would stare at that bag. Stare at that bag. Stare at that bag. You say, I want to be obedient. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm being obedient. That man call you up to me, I want you to come stay the night with me. You like, okay, cool. You go stay the night with him. Right? Because a lot of us would have done that. A lot of us would have been like, okay. But then you ended up moving in and you ended up getting pregnant. And as soon as you got pregnant, he said, I don't want this. I don't want you. That would have been my sign to tell God, like, you know what? I don't think this is working out, right? I don't think this is working out. Anyway, so you decide, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do this entire pregnancy by myself. But right after you found out she was pregnant and you guys are separated again, you found out he talking to his coworker, you talking to his mom talking about something, well, they're having fun. The way I would have fought his mama. What do you mean? What do you mean they're having fun? I would have started twitching, right? So then you go through this whole pregnancy by yourself, and the day you miraculously go into labor, this man is outside your house in his car. Okay. He follows your parents to the hospital. Y'all get there. He's sitting there snoring. He's sitting there sleep. He ain't talking to you. You're not talking to him. Your mother is barely talking to you. But your man, your husband, ain't talking to you at all. He's there. His mistress is still texting him XYZ because she knows what's going on. She knows the dealio. She knows the rundown. She knows where he's going at the end of the night. He leaves, come back with some flowers. He telling you a story. Oh, yeah, the flowers were in the car. Da-da-da-da, whoop, whoop, whoop. You know, the hospital also sells flowers. I digress. So you play house with him again. You thinking, oh, he's back. But you noticing that he's still texting the mistress. Her name is still popping up on the screen. You say, I'm going to turn a blind eye to it. That is your whole husband. So you let that man cheat on you the entire time and then abandon you during your pregnancy. I fear that he would have had an ass whooping. The way my eye would have been twitching every single time that name would have popped up. Actually, the name wouldn't even popped up. The phone would have been broken. And I'm not even a violent person, but how dare you leave me for my entire pregnancy? And then come play house with me, laying all up in my bed. And then leaving. As soon as that woman calls, you leave. And you go, he goes to be with her. Now you sitting there by yourself with the kids. And you think God told you that this is how your life was supposed to be. God showed you every single sign and you read them as, you was like, oh, I don't see red flags. Actually, I'm blind all of a sudden. I can't read. I can't read the signs. I can read them. I can listen to the prophetic messages saying 3 days, but you cannot read. You need God himself to come down, sit you down, and hold your hand and say what he needed to say, because every single thing you did was against God's wants.
That lady that's on here talking about how God restored her marriage after infidelity is peddling an extremely dangerous narrative, and this is why so many women get trapped in situations, because you're sitting here, preaching to women about how, they should be listening to God and, God restored their marriage and yada, yada, yada. After that man not only cheated on you, it was not just infidelity. That man abandoned her during the literal most vulnerable time you will ever be in your life as a woman, is when you are pregnant, is when you are the most vulnerable. It's when You're literally growing a child inside of you. Your hormones are constantly changing, and you're over here saying, well, I was being emotional because I was pregnant, and which you have every right to be. This man impregnated you and then left you and went and got him a new bitch, and left you. Didn't give a flying fuck about your well-being, your safety, not nothing. And then his own mama is not even telling you what's going on because she's trying to protect her son. And then you talking about, well, then God told me to just, hold him. And now you talking to his mama like, well, I just held him. Like, that bitch is not your friend. She's not on your side. She was never on your side. She was on her son's side. And she was okay with her son doing you dirty while you were carrying his son, while you were carrying his child. I don't know what they got. That man abandoned you, and now you're preaching to women about staying with a man that would do something like that to you. It's very harmful because that her do y'all think her husband would be listening to God to stay with her had she abandoned him, had she cheated on him and gone ghost for 9 months? And I mean, men can't get pregnant, so you know what I'm saying? But just left him just absconded in your most vulnerable state. That man abandoned you, no contact with you, no contact whatsoever, and now you're on the internet preaching that God restored my marriage.
Girl, tell this to a girl that's never been married before. I don't want to hear it because I know exactly what goes on in the marriage. I am experienced. And did I just say tell this to a woman that's never been married before? No, I take that back. Please, these are the kind of stories you don't want to tell the girls that have never been married, because you are setting them up for a really bad journey to go into a marriage where they accept crap. This man knew exactly what he was doing, and he chose what he chose. So putting it on God that he restored your marriage, there is a difference between forcing you to do something or allowing you to do something. God may have helped by allowing you to remain with a desire for your husband. However, he did not get you and put you back in that marriage. No. So I know there's a lot of people that have that have their own opinions. There you have it, guys. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Tell me really what you think, because this story is insane. It's insane. Please go ahead and tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me what you do. Do you believe that God really restored her marriage? Or she was desperate for this guy and she wanted to go for it? So, you guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell so that each time we upload a video with similar reactions, you are notified. We'll see you in my next video, guys. Thank you. Bye now.